I'll do it.
All right.
Hey, everyone. I'm James Ryder. This is Tim Freyr. This is Andrew Bloch. We are the New York City hard rock band Ryder, and you are listening to the Channa 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 podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of my podcast. We have very special guest all the way from New York City. We got the guys of Ryder. Hi guys.
Hi.
What's up? Thanks for having us.
How you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Right. So how's the situation in New York with the pandemic and everything, guys?
Oh God, that's we're gonna be here for a while on that. We're gonna need at least we're gonna need at least 3 podcast episodes for that. My God, it's going. That's all I could say. It's going. We don't know when it's gonna stop, but it's going.
Right. So with the lockdowns and everything, when did you guys last meet together?
Oh, geez. March?
No, a few months ago.
No, we met recently.
Last month.
Yeah, October. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
We didn't play.
Yeah, we didn't. We haven't played since March. We've been writing, over the course of the pandemic, but we haven't done a live show since literally the weekend before everything shut down. We did actually 3 shows that weekend. That Friday we were in New Hampshire, and we did a double shot in upstate New York, Rochester and Buffalo, back to back, and we were just driving home that Sunday. And we were just literally the entire drive home from Buffalo. It's like, God damn it, if we hear coronavirus one more time, we're going to freak out. And then everything shut down the next day. It's like, oh, joke's on us. So
Good thing we got back when we did.
yeah, thank God
seriously.
we did.
Right.
We probably wouldn't even been allowed back home. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So guys, can you introduce yourself and tell what you do in the band?
I'm James Ryder. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Andrew Bloch. I play guitar and sometimes provide backup vocals.
I'm Tim and I play bass.
Right. So who is missing?
Oh, we're missing Billy.
Billy, yeah, Billy's missing. He's doing some stuff right now. So, but three is better than none.
Right. I mean, I'm glad to have you guys. So I've been listening to your album Killer Karma, which is a killer title for a killer album because it's really good.
Thank you.
Before we talk about Ryder, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood and what was your earliest memory of music?
Oh wow. My earliest memory of music, one of my favorite tapes when I was a kid was Disney's version of Fantasia. My mom has told me multiple times, she literally had to buy me 3 different VHS tapes of because I would wear them out by playing it. So that's definitely my earliest memory.
My earliest memory was I had this little hand drum when I was 3, 4. I just remember playing the hand drum when I was really young, but apparently before that I used to set up pots and pans on the floor and pretend it was a drum set when I was 2 or 3. I don't remember that though. That's too early.
Right.
My suburban mother got me started on Bon Jovi at a pretty young age. And eventually I started playing Guitar Hero. And then after playing Guitar Hero was when I decided I wanted to actually learn how to play an instrument. And I taught myself bass.
Right, right. So, James, as a vocalist, because I feel like when I listen to your music, I get a vibe of, you know, Led Zeppelin, the Who, that sort of you know, vocal style and music style. So, James, who are your like influences with regards to singing? Uh,
Oh man, put me on the spot here. Definitely David Coverdale from Deep Purple and Whitesnake.
right,
I definitely, you know, I've been trying to do a lot more. James Hetfield, Metallica, especially in the early days of this band. Andrew can attest. You know, my constant doing of vocals, and Tim can even attest to this too. Of like every single thing, I would just add a "ruh" at the end of everything, and it was just like it was bad. Like so, definitely. So, but yeah, definitely those two. You know, God, I'm trying to think who other. There's so many others. I can't really think off the top of my head.
right. How about for bass, Tim? Who are your influences?
Geezer Butler, probably a big influence. I was definitely big into early Metallica, so I have to put Cliff Burton on that list as well. But most of my early learning, I would just look up tablature for Iron Maiden music and learn how to play that. So I guess Steve Harris is probably like my closest bass influence. And I've had people say that they hear Geddy Lee as well, which as much of a compliment as I take that, I'm not quite sure is accurate entirely.
Right.
But yeah.
What about you, Andrew?
So in terms of, I don't really have any guitar influences, ironically. I mean, I'm not a lead guitarist, so I can't sit here and say like Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, any of that. But in terms of being a musician, I'd have to say Paul McCartney, for sure. All Pink Floyd in general, just all like the old 60s stuff has really shaped who I become as a musician, and are kind of the reason why I chose to be a rhythm guitarist instead of a lead guitarist.
Right, right. So, guys, before you started Ryder, were you in other bands prior to Ryder? Can you tell me a little bit about your journey before that?
Oh wow! All right, therapy time. So yeah, I've been in other bands before Ryder. They were interesting to say the least. But yeah, it was you know, for personal and legal reasons, I can't really go into detail too much about them. But it was interesting. My hair used to be a lot longer back then. I had probably the worst haircut in the world in the band before this. I had a mullet, like a Joe Dirt mullet, like down to my shoulders, like business in the front, party in the back. It was horrible. Like I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but you know, it happened. You know, the old saying, you know, young, dumb, and full of you know what. I don't know the language parameters here, but you know.
Yeah, the mullet was a sight to see for sure. I was in a death metal band. I was in a couple of death metal bands before rock and roll, actually, ironically.
Right. How about you, Tim?
I've been in a lot of bands before this, mostly metal. My most recent band before this was a folk metal band, which was pretty interesting. But For the last 4 years, ish, 3-4 years going on now, has been mostly just Ryder.
Right. Right. So, forming Ryder. So, how do you guys meet?
Well, I met
Oh.
James through my other death metal band. The story is actually kind of funny, but at least my earliest, the earliest point that I remember meeting James for sure. I know I met him before then, but I can't pinpoint when we met before. But my earliest memory of meeting him for sure was I was playing a show at a bar called Club Revolution. It's not around anymore, unfortunately, but he approaches me at the bar. I've been sober by that point for a few years now, and he goes up to me, he goes, "Hey man, do you want a drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll have a glass of water." And he goes, "A Guinness? Okay." I'm like, "Wait, what? I didn't ask for a Guinness." So he orders me a Guinness from the bar. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, man, I don't drink." That was my first experience with James Ryder.
Right.
Me and James go a little bit further back than that. One of my previous bands I was in one of James's bands. That was probably just out of high school for me, actually.
Wow. Okay.
It was very interesting. Very interesting dynamic. Oh man. Well, you got the story from them too. I picked him up out of high school and I bribed him with Guinness. Billy, I just got Reese's peanut
Billy,
butter
you
cups
found on
and I lured him into my van. So.
He lured him into the back of a van with candy.
Oh my God.
So funny. So James, when did the idea came to start the band, the Ryder band?
Oh man, around mid 2016. It was basically what ended up happening is a band I was in previously, didn't work out, and things happen, and I formed another one, and it was an interesting dynamic. The band before, I wanted it to be, a band, and it felt like a solo project. And then this one, I'm like, to kind of show Murphy's Law and how things, work opposite, is I formed Ryder with the intention of it being a solo band, and then becomes a band. So
Right.
basically what I learned throughout my life is whatever I do, the opposite is going to happen.
So James, maybe don't try and be successful.
Why?
Listen, Andrew, I listen, as much as I know a lot of people that would be happy with me, not being successful, but
No, if the opposite always happens, if you don't try.
You thought he's been trying this whole time?
Listen, I do not have a trust fund, and I do not have a lot of money. So,
Right.
I'm kidding. I enjoy trying too much to tell you not to.
Oh man, I'm sorry, but I feel like we're hijacking your show. I'm so sorry, dude.
It's fine. So starting from 2016, how's the journey? Because these days it's really tough to start a band, right? It's very, there's so much competition, there's so much music out there, and then how's the journey? How's the response?
The response is pretty good. I mean, we started, I feel at the perfect time. It really, we kind of got in at the tail end of like just, especially the scene around New York just changing. And, obviously right now we're going through another evolution period with the current state of affairs. And, I'll be honest with you, I feel bad for people who are starting bands right now. It is going to be very difficult. It's going to be a different game. Especially live wise, it's going to be harder for bands, I think, to cut their teeth. Just today on Facebook, Blackthorn in Queens announced that they're closed. They've been vacated for a bit, and that was a big club in Queens. We recorded our live EP there, which I know we're going to be talking about later. But
Right.
yeah, they closed up because of the current situation of things, and with the way things are going, if this trend continues, it's going to be all corporately owned venues, and then for newer bands, that's not going to be good.
Yeah. So, do you guys perform? Where do you guys played before? So, is it around New York State, or you played outside of other states?
Oh, we've
traveled a
been
lot.
to we've been to half the country and 2 provinces of Canada.
Wow.
We get around like a
Play anywhere they'll have us.
like a Bourbon Street hooker. We get around. But yeah, that's so we've definitely traveled.
What are your like some memorable places to play?
Oh man.
Well, you
geez.
mentioned Bourbon. We definitely, New Orleans is definitely up there. The air was 80% some strange insect, but it was a really cool crowd, a really cool venue.
The
I
termites
also-
flying around Bourbon Street. My God, those were horrible.
Yeah. I have to talk about Murfreesboro, North Carolina.
Oh,
We get in,
yeah.
and half the
We
town
never
is
played there.
abandoned.
That show. I'm pretty sure was held illegally.
Dude, are you trying to set me up to
No.
do the
I'm mostly joking about the conditions of which we played.
Can
But,
I? All right, Channa, do you want to hear this story about Murfreesboro?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. So this owner, let me
careful,
let me sip of
because
water for this.
we just want to talk about the venue mostly.
Yeah, I know. It was really, really interesting. The guy drove from Greensboro, North Carolina to Murfreesboro just to open the venue for us or whatever. And the dude comes out of his car. He's like, well, god dang, I came over here because I wanted to open the venue for you guys. And damn, they've been trying to close me down for years. They try to get me on everything. They try to say they got weed, they got drugs, they got everything over here. Hell, they even threw the book at me. They try to get me on a RICO charge.
Yeah, it was a very fun, interesting night. There was a swamp in the green room, which for me that was the most interesting thing.
The green room
ecosystem next to the piano.
Yeah, that was really interesting. But it was a really fun show. I enjoyed it.
Yes, it was fun.
Oh my god! I'm gonna put.
I'm
this guy
wondering if
over, though.
maybe the fire marshal was on to something about those complaints.
Dude, I'll give him credit in all honesty, because besides running the venue, he also has his own hot sauce business, and that's some pretty damn good hot sauce.
I wish I knew what the hot
really
sauce
good hot
was.
sauce.
I would buy it.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
Right. You guys like spicy food?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
James knows. We used to go to this Japanese restaurant all the time, and their spice wasn't spicy enough for me.
Right.
So they had to make a new level of spicy just for me.
Right.
Yeah, and we both ordered the same thing, and they thought I wanted it the same spice as you, and they gave it here, and I'm literally like tearing the you know what up. I take 2 bites. I'm like, dude, like, did they kill a horse or something? Holy duh.
Yeah. Because I'm actually I'm originally from Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has, I think, the most spiciest foods. Well,
That sounds really good. Sounds fun.
Definitely sounds really good.
yeah.
Sounds like it would put me in the hospital, though. I've got some heartburn issues. I'm on the verge of some ulcers in places, and I gotta actually sort my diet out. It's a serious issue.
Right.
Yeah,
But I
no,
love spicy.
no scorpion sauce for Tim.
Yeah, no more scorpion sauce.
James, you guys also played in LA as well, right? Like Whiskey A Go Go.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yep,
I
LA
was ashamed we
was
didn't bring that up when we were asking about our favorite places to play, because
yeah, yes.
LA is a whole other story.
LA is awesome. I loved LA. Very good people. That town's been great to us. Whiskey A Go Go is great.
Mhm.
God, well, there's one other thing I have to bring up as far as like memorable venues. This isn't necessarily a venue. It's a festival, and I definitely have to bring it up because we've been honored to play it 2 times in a row, back to back. The Rocklahoma Festival in Pryor, Oklahoma. I mean, that's easily the most people we've played to thus far in our career. So awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So with regards to Ryder, what's the process of writing songs? Is James, you write the songs, so how does it work?
It's
How do you?
it's a shared effort on all of our parts. We're usually bashing our heads together until something happens.
Right.
Is usually
Yeah.
how it goes.
Literally.
But,
Literally.
or until we get a concussion. Either or, we get something done or we get a concussion. And
sometimes a couple of us don't have as much in us to push as far. So some songs, they all sound different because they have a lot of different dynamic on who's really like putting the legwork and writing the song, and which people are building around it. A lot of our songs come out sounding different because they're not all written by the same person.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have to describe describe the sound of Ryder, so how would you describe it?
easy. Hard rock. That's the best way to describe it. We're a hard rock band. It encompasses a lot of other stuff. It's not, just one dimension of hard rock. It's, everything.
Right. I mean, guys, I've been talking to you, and you guys are like doing this. That right now, I can feel the energy that when you guys get together, what sort of environment that is. It feels so cool that you guys are like so fun and talking to each other.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And the thing with being in a band too, and that's also the other thing is, when you've been with people and you've been on the road with them, I mean, it goes beyond being a band. It becomes, an extension of your family, and it's just, it's a huge dynamic because, you spend the most time. I've spent most of the past 4 years, with these two and Billy. It's been.
And in your car.
You see, in my car. My car that I bought certified pre-owned with 10,000 miles now has 119,000 miles on it.
They moved to bed in what, 5 years? 119,000 miles in 5 years?
In 3 years.
If that were a lease, the dealership would have a shit fit.
Oh, if that was a lease, I'd be screwed.
So James, you said that the band actually you started it as like a sort of a solo project. I mean, of course, from the name itself, I assume that it's your name. But once you got started playing and touring together, does the meaning change now of Ryder? It's from a like a not, it's not really focused on you, but it's more of a group effort and different sort of a meaning to the band.
Oh yeah, totally. The dynamic, again, it's totally different, and it shows like just an evolution. I mean, the original purpose of it, is not what it is today. We grow, we evolve, we learn together, and it just, became a whole another thing. And I'll be honest with you, it's that when the band first started, it wasn't exactly with the most positive of intentions or the most stuff, but now it's just it's so much positive, it's so much whatever. So it all comes with time, evolution, and growth.
Right. Yeah. So I check out your music in Spotify. You have it in Spotify and some in YouTube. So you put out a live EP for What Is Worth in 2018. Can you tell me a little bit about that EP? Why you decided to put it out as a live EP?
That was James's idea.
That was my idea. I love live records. I absolutely love live records. Kiss Alive, Dawkins Beast from the East, Deep Purple, Live at the Budokan, like so many of them. I love that sound. I love the work that goes into it. And, I wanted to put out a live EP, and it was just one of those things. We had the opportunity to do it. We did it at Blackthorn 51, which, like I said before, recently closed. But is located in Elmhurst, or was located in Elmhurst, Queens. And the sound person there, Alexi Menkoff, great guy, just ran the sound that night. It came together. It really just came together. We recorded it. It was raw, and it was Tim's first show, and he had no idea we were recording it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
The lucky I know.
It might not have come out so good.
I learned the songs in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also his
not
first
around
week.
for long at that point.
Yeah, we threw him in the fire. So.
Yeah. On that EP, you guys had a song called "Is Rock and Roll Dead?" What do you think? Is rock and roll dead, or is what do you think of that?
No.
I don't
As
think
a music
rock and
genre,
roll
it's
can die.
It doesn't
Yeah,
sit
I don't
in the
think-
mainstream music really much, but you still got plenty of rock and roll musicians out playing live shows in bars. Maybe not literally right now, but up until COVID.
Yeah.
It's still a very lively scene.
Oh yeah, and listen, rock and roll, as long as there's support for it, it may not be in the mainstream. It may not, do that. It definitely has, at least a mainstream shelf life, as we've seen over the years. But the only way rock and roll truly dies is once people stop caring, and that's it. Once people stop caring about it, once people stop supporting it, then then and even then it doesn't really die. It just evolves into something else.
Yeah. Right. Because what I experience, so many music comes and goes, but bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, people still listen to those things, right? Led Zeppelin, The Who, it never changes, right? That keeps on. People still listen to those music, right?
Mm-hmm.
What might be popular now will change, but what resonates with people won't, and what's timeless will remain forever.
Right. Guys, so with the lockdowns and pandemic and everything, where there's no live shows, what do you think will happen? Because I see bands are trying to do live streaming, and they're releasing albums while just digitally via social media. What do you think about what's happening?
Evolution.
Evolution. Like Tim said, evolution. It's just we're learning to adapt to the current environment. And I do want to reiterate, for your listeners or for whoever comes across this podcast, this is what we're in right now is not a permanent state of being. This is only temporary. And, but for right now, people do need to adjust, their game plans for what they're doing. I think it's great. People are being creative. People, doing the whole live streaming thing. I think it's a great avenue to do that. And I think, I wouldn't be surprised that if, that when venues come back, once this passes, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a live streaming element that is incorporated from that. I think a lot of, especially the live streams, a lot of people have been getting creative with it, and I could see that definitely expanding more.
Right.
Yeah.
Tim, Andrew, you want to add anything?
No, it basically covers everything on my end.
I also,
Yeah,
that, and I think this is the perfect time now to just play around, write new music, experiment, so once live shows get back or come back, we can still continue doing it. Being creative will never change, but this is the time now to really try and build something that you wouldn't have been able to do before while touring.
right. So prior to the pandemic, I mean, I used to go. I mean, I've been going to concerts for the last 20 years. So I go to a lot of concerts, sometimes 8 to 9 concerts a month. So I go to a lot of gigs. So once the pandemic happened, it's sort of my whole world came down because there's nothing to do. I was supposed to see Iron Maiden this year. I was supposed to see Slipknot this year. Everything got cancelled. And then I was a bit skeptical about the live stream thing because it felt weird to watch it. But once I started watching some of the live streams, I'm kind of into it because it feels, it gives me very comfortable. I can sit on my chair and watch it at home. And there was some very innovative live streams. I don't know if you guys heard about the Behemoth live stream, which was amazing.
I actually
No,
haven't. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. And then they did also the guitarist. I know if you know the solo artist Orianthi. She's a rock and roll artist. She did she did a live stream from the Whiskey and a Go-Go actually a few months back, which was a really cool. Yeah, so I think I think the live stream, as James said, that even if the live show started, there might be an element of live stream for people to watch it from wherever they are, right? So it opens up a new sort of audience as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
People can take a break between switching from Netflix to Pornhub and now watch live music. I'm hoping.
Hopefully they take that break. Who knows?
Hopefully they take their break before their hands fall off.
Right. You mentioned Pornhub, and Philippines is the number one user percentage wise in in the world of Pornhub.
Nice.
There are a lot of musicians considering to use Pornhub instead of YouTube nowadays because of the finances for it. So you got people on Pornhub watching live music and shows and things like that, and nobody's making it.
Yeah, and there was there was a meme that it's like a Pornhub video screenshot. It says, the title says Asian dude fingering something, but it's actually the bassist of Dream Theater playing his bass.
Oh my god.
We might have to look into that.
We should
We might
do
have to
that
look
with.
into
We should do that with one of our songs. We should just do this. It's like, big burly bearded man, fingers instrument.
Wait. Tim,
You can say G
do you have an
string,
Asian
James. You got a
bass?
G string.
Tim, do you
What?
have an Asian bass, Tim?
I'm pretty sure most of my bases are made from Asia.
All right, so you could put up a video of you playing one of our songs and say, "White Italian dude fingers Asian woman."
Could.
Oh God, this has gone off
if
the
this
rails.
is a
Oh, my
marketing
God.
you guys want to try and do, I am down. It is. Let it be on the record that I'm okay with Pornhub.
Okay.
So guys, this year, so with the current chaos and everything, but you guys were able to put out your debut album, right? Killer Karma. So
Yes.
Yep.
can you tell me about the process of recording this album? Was it recorded last year or early this year?
It was recorded last year, and I think one of the most difficult things that we had to do was we finished it in early 2019, and we had to sit on it for over a year. And we had to keep our mouths shut, and we couldn't say anything. We had it in the can in early 2019. We started recording in January at Obscenic Arts Studios, Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, with Anthony Esposito from who's currently playing with Jake E. Lee's Red Dragon Cartel. Great guy, longtime friend of the band, produced the record, pretty much helped us put this together, and it was a great experience. And what we ended up doing is we finished the entire tracking process in May. I think we had all of the final tracks by like August, late July, August. And then around December 2019, we went back to Anthony and we recorded the 2 acoustic bonus tracks that were released with the singles from this record. And so, yeah, it was an awesome experience. It was so much fun.
Right.
The studio that Anthony has is real nice. He's real nice to work with. Took very good care of his bass player. He's an excellent bassist and producer, mix, master.
Why did you decided to name the album Killer Karma?
Oh, Andrew, we were I don't know who was recording what. There's debate. I think, was it Tim? Were you recording your tracks?
No, I think
I was not, because I was definitely in the room to have.
So I think Billy was still doing drums, right?
Someone was doing.
This was vocals. He was comping vocals.
He was comping vocals.
Oh, my
okay.
God.
He was comping vocals.
Well,
and Anthony said something about like Karma Killer or something, and then I turned to Tim. I go, "Wait, Tim, what if we call the album Killer Karma?" And Tim's like, "Yo, let's do it." And then we turned to James. We're like, "Yo, what about Killer Karma?" And he's like, Yeah.
Well, we wrote it down. You wrote it down, and we went and we argued about album titles for a while, and then we can't come up with anything better than this. So this is definitely what we're going to use.
You have a gut feeling when you hear a name like that. It was like we had that, that kind of like that brain blast, like aha moment, where and that's kind of what we had when we heard Killer Karma, and it was like, we got creative. Like, we were already talking cover art by then. It's like, we're gonna do like a mandala symbol and other stuff, and we're really gonna like go for it. And that's not what we did for the final art, but it was like it got the creative juices flowing. And it's, when you got a name like that, it's like, yeah, you got to roll with it.
Yeah, if you have a name that instantly makes you think of art, that's probably the name you want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with the from the Killer Karma album, If you have to choose, what's your favorite song? Each one of you.
I'm gonna say Shatter. I really like Shatter a lot. It's a really fun track to even just to play live. It's just a lot of fun.
For me, it's probably LOA Club, especially just because of how fun it is to play. That or I do really like the acoustic version of Crash and Burn as well, in particular, as far as playing goes.
Yes.
But
yeah, I would have to say I'm going LOA Club, only because that song. Now that song you can hear on our live EP for what it's worth. It's not the same song. It was completely reworked, redone. Parts were added to it. It was so much fun. We recorded like 6 different types of guitar on that song. We had so much love. We had, what was it? We had the Telly, we had my guitar, Andrew's guitar,
we had a lot
78
of
custom.
guitars on that record.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot of guitars.
We had
something of Jakey Lee's, I believe, was on it as well.
That was
yeah.
I think that was
the acoustics.
The Mountains.
Yeah, we used his acoustic on some of those tracks, on the acoustic tracks.
Right. So putting out your debut album, and now what are you guys working on? What's your upcoming plans?
Well, we're working on some new music. We're trying to get something going. We've been talking for a bit about the possibility of a release sometime next year, like a supplemental release of stuff that we've had in the vaults for quite a while, and we're thinking about putting that out and doing that.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, so with this, especially the state in the US with the pandemic, and then the election, and then the social media, which is wild. How do you guys manage this? Because social media is so negative, and you hear so many arguments and all these things. So how do you manage this? All this information coming to you, and have a sort of a peace of mind during these chaotic times?
The internet is social media is great for people to immediately put out their first thought emotions into the world as energy. And if you take into consideration that a lot of the things you see are people expressing their emotions that they don't understand, that they're trying to figure out just the same as the rest of us, it makes it a little easier to go with the flow, understand that everyone's going through their own stuff and is trying to figure out where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to get through this, just like everybody else.
Right.
That, and if you can't deal with it, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to put it down and just push it off to the side for a little bit.
Yeah. Go outside. Smell the coffee, smell the roses. Facebook is still going to be there. There's you're still going to have the Facebook tab along with the Pornhub tab. It's fine. You're good.
Well, when do you think Zuckerberg's going to add Pornhub to Messenger?
That's what I want to know.
And SMS.
Dude, that's what I want to know. Facebook porn. They have dating. They have everything else. It's coming. You have the marketplace. It's
billion-dollar idea.
I wouldn't be surprised. 2021. Facebook bought Instagram. The last time they're gonna buy OnlyFans next year. I'm calling it. It's happening.
Yeah, James, we probably need to talk again in 2021 when it happens.
Yes, we'll have to definitely reconvene once we adjust to the world as it will be in 2021.
Yeah. So guys, what's your message to people who support you, listen to your music? What's your message?
I love you.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, Andrew starts it off strong. I love you. Thank you. No, seriously, like honestly, thank you for all of the support. I want to give a shout out right now to my buddy, well, our buddy Steve Engel in Canada. This
Love
past
you,
week,
Steve.
this past week, just an awesome guy. He got a physical copy of Killer Karma, and we mailed it out to him, and thank God it got to Canada okay. It was great. And then this week I end up getting a package from him, and it's like 4 like really big Canadian flags, and it was just with a really nice message attached to it. And he's really awesome guy, and it's fans like that. I'm not saying send me stuff. You don't have to. I'm not saying buy us or whatever. It's really sweet if you do. But anyone who has kind of found solace in our music, and anyone who has kind of used our art as like an outlet to like kind of escape the grind of everyday life, thank you so much.
Tim, anything you want to add?
They've covered everything perfectly, but yeah, just the support's really nice, and I hope that we can continue to put music out for you guys during this time, so you have something to sit back and relax to while we're trying to figure out if we can go outside.
Right. So this was great, guys. I'm glad that I was able to talk to you. So James, I think I got to know about Ryder from Catherine Campbell of CJC. She's the
Yes.
one who shared with me, and we've been working with several other artists as well. And I'm really glad that she puts out a lot of great music, great artists from a promotion. So I want to shout out to Catherine. And
Yes.
guys,
Yes.
take care, and then work on your new music. Looking forward to new songs, and keep positive. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Stay safe and take care.
Thanks.